VJ, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Happy to be on.
Great, great. Thank you so much. So let's start with, the most basic question, right? Can you tell us a little bit about Blue Paw?
Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about Blue Paw. So we make soap, but there's more to it than that, right? We began a little over 20 years ago. Founder is Dr. Deru Tano. He actually started the company um, in the hardware business, and you know your listeners and yourself will know about Lumber Depot, and then Blue Power was started thereafter. So the group itself encompassed the soap factory and Lumber Depot. A few years ago, Lumber Depot separated from Blue Power on the stock exchange and is now on their own on the JSE. However, the Blue Power group has continued as a soap manufacturing company. And what we have been doing for the past 20 plus years is manufacturing across the entire product lines of bar soaps. So we manufacture what we call in Jamaica cake soap, but it's really laundry soap. Everybody knows it as blue soap. We manufacture bath soaps, traditional bath soaps. So we can do from the regular, the Castiles to the antibacterials to the natural soaps. So in essence, we manufacture anything bar soap related, and we do it for our own brands. But importantly, we do it for third party brands as well. And so we like to classify ourselves because this is what we are, manufacturers. And so um, companies that have brands within personal care, we seek to partner with them, and we seek to partner with them well by providing them with the private labeling opportunities in the bar soap space.
Great. I love that context. I didn't know you covered all of that. So that means then you're mainly business to business, or I guess let me ask you, what segment of the business is you working with partners to white label and provide those services, and what segment is, or what percentage is focused on
Right,
maybe
right. So the larger percentage of our business, I would say, is probably is white labeling, is private labeling, because we do manufacture a lot for partners, and we also, I didn't say this in the beginning, but we also do exports as well. So on our own Blue Power brand, you will find our products in the US, you find it in the UK, and you find it across some Caribbean countries. So historically, we have been an export-driven company as well.
okay, okay, all right. So with that context of what you've given us in terms of what you do, how do you see your plans and strategy for growth? What is that strategy?
Well, the plan is always to make more soap, right? So, we are and we knocked heads earlier. So we are growing, and a big part of our business is to grow our white labeling partnerships, and say to our customers and say to prospective customers that, listen, we manufacture soaps well, right? We are excellent at this, and we can do your brands for you, and we can be versatile, we can customize, and we can give you the type of quality that you can get anywhere else in the world here at Blue Pole. So that's the first thing that we want to do. We want to grow the volumes of our business, not just for our own brand, but really to manufacture as well for other companies that have similar mindsets and want to grow their businesses. In addition, we see the opportunity to expand in the bar soap categories. So I did mention that we can do anything bar soap. And so we want to work with our current partners to expand their lines. And so we're looking at um, line extensions, line expansions for our current customers and even for our current brands in terms of building the volume. And we want to onboard as many more brands out there that are probably not made in Jamaica right now, but can be made in Jamaica, by again selling to these companies and selling to these potential partners the viability of working with a company like BPOW. So in the bar soap realm, right, that is a big part of our strategic plan, business development. Additionally, a key component of where we want to be in the future is being a company that is diversified and able to provide solutions across the personal care category, not just in the bar soap space. And so we see ourselves as a company that is well poised to develop within the personal care category beyond the bar soaps. And we are intent on moving into other spaces of personal care, including liquid. And that's something that we're looking at aggressively. And we're seeing how best as a team we can kind of transition into making the most of that type of opportunity, going into the liquid soap space. And so our strategic plans really surround business development, pushing volumes. We have the capacity internally to grow our bar soap volumes, twofold, even threefold, without the addition of much more. We have, I'd say, over the past year and a half, invested in the necessary equipment to pivot us to the next level of business development growth. And so, again, to answer the question, business development, increase volumes, partnering with our current customer base, seeking new potential customers to manufacture for, and going into new product lines within bar soap category, but also outside of the bar soap category with personal care are key features of our strategic plans.
Okay. So in terms of, say, you alluded to, I guess, a strategy for companies outside of Jamaica to potentially partner with you. What's the next piece of that in terms of your strategy for growth outside of Jamaica?
Right. So that's a very good question as well. So we have recognized that one, the diaspora is a pretty large market, and we have seen, particularly during the COVID period, where members of the diaspora, and I'll also say even non-Jamaican diaspora, but the Caribbean diaspora, identify with our brands. And so the plan is to develop further in the US market with our partners, our the distribution of our brands and our products. Currently, I would say we have a good footprint in South Florida and also the Northeast USA. Through our partners, the intent is to kind of expand the geographical presence of our brands. So that's one. Two, we have partners that are doing pretty well within Jamaica and within the region, and they themselves have identified potential opportunities within North America, and we are working with our potential partners we're working with our current partners to exploit these opportunities. And so what we do very well is making bar soaps and making bar soaps that resonate very well with our Caribbean people. We also are good at customizing soaps, and what we find is that there are a lot of niche segments that are growing, and we make those soaps pretty well. So we're partnering with our current customers as well to get increased footprint in the US market and in the North American market. So as we seek to build volumes in the local market, we're also looking to increase our footprint in the North American market as well. And as things progress, the ideal is to get back as well into the Caribbean market and get back some sales into our customers on that side of the world.
Okay. Thank you for that context. Your Q3 report alluded to business model challenges Can you tell us a little bit about what those challenges are and what side of the business that would impact?
Right. So the issue that we alluded to really speaks to the exports to CARICOM. And the idea is that products manufactured in Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean that operate, soap manufacturing businesses must pay duty. And so in Jamaica, what we do is we develop and execute on our recipes. So we will add, respective fragrances. We will add, um, you know, our own colors. We'll add local flavors. And CARICOM has a special rule that says, despite all of that combining and mixing and additions of raw materials that you add in Jamaica, it is technically not manufactured in Jamaica. And that is the problem. And that's a problem that manufacturers within Jamaica and across the Caribbean will face in terms of the business model challenge. And so this problem essentially will result in respective duties being applied. And so the solution for us, which ties back to a strategic plan, is to build more volume here in Jamaica through our factories. And that is why we have such a keen and aggressive approach to business development and volume sales. And that's why we're so keen on partnering and, you know, really executing well with our strategic distribution partners for them to also align with our visions. And I think, from where we sit, it is recognized that this challenge that's being faced within the region is something that, as Jamaicans, we want to tackle. And so we do feel like we will be able to push along with our local partners to increase our volumes and ultimately build on Jamaican manufacturing.
Okay. So your hope is to use volume to overcome that duty cost that will be
Yeah,
there.
man.
Oh, yeah.
Most definitely. And, Jermaine, I want to even kind of not use the word hope. We are aggressive on it, and we truly believe in what we're doing. We believe that we have a fantastic plan. We believe that we work very well with our partners, and that what we are planning, right, will be executed, because we firmly will be leading the charge on this. And I think the outlook is bright for us.
All right. So so you mentioned a couple of things that I guess paints a picture of your diverse approach to growing the business. Are there any other, product lines or maybe opportunities that you see to diversify the business that maybe I haven't mentioned already?
Yeah, so we have some internal innovations that we're working on. We're we're about ready to drop it on the market, so we'll tell everybody to look out for it. I think as well, we're a company that is very serious about innovation, and I've spoken a lot about working with our partners and aligned visions, and so we recognize the importance of constantly evolving our own business to ensure that we meet the needs of our customers. And so we will be making necessary investments in even more equipment, so we're able to meet our customers um, where we need to meet them for them to evolve in the consumer space. So outside of just launching new products, we're looking at how we can help to even renovate current products that we have on the market, not just our own products, but work with our partners to renovate their own products, because that's the type of company we are. We want to innovate, we want to keep evolving, and so yes, you can look out for for new things to drop on the market, coming out of the Blue Power factory, and it's really it's in our DNA, and we want to continue on that line. I mentioned earlier, and just to touch on that question, when you speak about other lines, we want to become a company that is prominent in the personal care space, and that builds on Jamaican manufacturing in the personal care space. So expanding into the area of liquid soaps and liquid just liquid manufacturing on a whole in the personal care category is something that we definitely are keen in looking into. And as the business develops and as opportunities become available, we will be seeking to exploit that.
Okay. I feel like I understand the business so much better now. There was like a final line or two in your outlook that you mentioned, taking advantage of some land that's opposite your current location. What's the timeline for that use of land? Do you know clearly what you're going to be using it for? What can you tell us about that?
Right. So we have next door about 3 acres that we invested in. As we evolve, we recognize that we will need more space to build our business as we speak about things like the liquid line and just simply exploiting opportunities in the personal care space that may come our way. The intent is to utilize the land that we invested in to to afford us the abilities to expand our manufacturing capacity and expand our manufacturing the space for us to onboard new manufacturing equipment, especially as we seek to go into new categories. So the timeline for that, I would say, is not defined as yet. We would love to start engaging in development over on that land for for the exploitation of business opportunity within the next 12 months. But again, there's no defined timeline. But it's something that we're working on. And once the time is right, we will be making that move.
Okay. So I'd like to close out this interview with a word from you to shareholders. So you mentioned that separation that you'd have had a few years ago with lumber, and it's what would a shareholder know, what would you give them to hold on to for the future, right? Because you've painted your vision, you've mentioned your strategy for growth. As it relates to now the investment side and your shareholders, what do you say to them as they take this journey with you?
So, I would say that this is an exciting time for the Blue Power Group. I spoke about, how we see the scope for more soaps in Jamaica, not just in the bar soap realm, but in the liquid soap realm as well, for us to develop in. I've spoken about innovating and evolving our products, not just for our own brands, but also for our private label brands, which we want to and will continue to expand on. We've also touched base on, or we've also spoken about the utilization of land that we've invested in for business growth. And so what I would say is I'm excited about Blue Power, and the team here is very excited about the future because we see so much opportunity for growth in this business, and we are acting actively on exploiting opportunities and exploiting these business development opportunities. And so the journey, I think, over the next 3 to 5 years will be a fun one, and it will be one that will see us growing from end to end. And so that's what I would say to anybody looking on to Blue Power, look out for us to continue evolving, continue innovating, and ultimately growing our business from both the revenue perspective, the volume perspective, and the onboarding or the extension of the Blue Power manufacturing company, the Blue Power Group, into new lines of businesses.
Okay. Thank you so much, VJ. It was a pleasure speaking with you. All the best to the Blue Power team.
Thank you for having me, Jermaine, and thank you to your listeners. Take care.